loose again. Edwards off the running. Puts it back down to Edwards. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won. Right now, and they take a downfield shot. And the catch is made. It's Ryan Williams. Goes to the free. Touchdown.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Gridiron Uncensored podcast. And, we appreciate you guys coming in. West Virginia, big changes throughout the portal, throughout the coaching staff. Welcome back, Rich Rod, man. Like, we're going to talk all about what this West Virginia team brings to the table, their over-under, all that stuff. Let's dig into it, Trevor. 2025 season preview.
Let's do it.
Virginia. 2024 obviously was not, what they wanted. 6-7, 5-4 in conference. They gave Neil Brown one last shot, and it just did not go the way we thought it would. There was a moment where people were like, "Oh, he's so close to getting that, getting over the hump." I think it was the 2023 season. He's right there. I was like, pretty much every good team he played, they lost to, and it just, we just weren't feeling it, if you go back and look at it. And then 2024 happened, and, the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
You lose to Penn State again, lose to Pitt, which you can't do. You lose to Iowa State, which was a good team, Kansas State again, Baylor, Texas Tech, and then you lose.
Baylor hurt a bit.
Oh, yeah. That one hurts them. And then getting them smacked by Texas Tech at the end of the season like that.
That's
nasty work. Yeah. But regardless, 2024 doesn't matter anymore, does it, West Virginia?
That's right.
Fans? You guys don't care about it. You're looking way back when you're looking in the past here, because Rich Rod is back in town. Trev, coaching changes, a lot of them.
I'm going to go through some highlights. I'm not going to go through all of them because, well, it's a long list.
And we can't be here all night.
And we only got so much time here, folks. So obviously Rich Rod coming back, and just for those of you that don't know, he is a West Virginia native. Grew up right there in Granttown, West Virginia. Last stint, he went 60-26 as his stints at West Virginia from 2001 to 07 before he made. Never mind, we're not going to talk about where he went after that.
We think you guys can probably see on Trevor's shirt. If I can find there it is. Let's not talk about that one, Trevor.
We're moving on. He's bringing along with him Zach Alley, who will be his assistant head coach, defensive coordinator, and linebackers coach. Alley, who's about 30 years old, was the co-defensive coordinator, and linebackers coach at Oklahoma, and also he reunited. Obviously, he was with Brent Venables there. Now he's coming over to be he was a coordinator with Rich Rod when he was at Jacksonville State.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and now he's coming back on over here. He brings Rich Rod's also bringing over Travis Trickett, senior offensive assistant. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but he has some decent he spent some time with the Mountaineers 2019 to 2021 as a tight end and inside receivers head coach or receivers coach, and becoming offensive coordinator at USF. He spent the last 2 seasons at Coastal Carolina as their offensive coordinator. So there's some good experience there at the offensive side of the ball for sure. We got they brought over, and this is honestly my favorite one. I'm not going to go much past this one because I'm super excited. They brought in Pat White to be the assistant quarterbacks coach and assistant to the head coach. And for those of you that were not around or did not pay attention to college football when Pat White was doing great things, Pat White was probably, in my opinion, the best college football player to come out of West Virginia.
He was
he was amazing. He took the world by storm, the college football world by storm, when he was playing at the quarterback position. So it's it's great to see that he's back with the Mountaineers and to lend some of his knowledge at the quarterback position as well.
Oh yeah,
Regardless of what you feel about his NFL, what he did at the NFL, which was minimal, the guy was just an amazing college football quarterback.
yeah, and it's part of building that culture back, you know, and that's we talk about that all the time. You can get whoever you want in the portal, whatever. If you don't have a strong culture, it doesn't matter. So we're going to talk about portal here soon with West Virginia. Obviously, they brought in a lot, but they're trying to get that circle the wagons, bring that feeling back.
That's right.
Hey, this team means something. We're in the Big 12 that's looking for somebody to step up and be the big dog. Why not us? Why can't we get back to what we were doing when Rich Rod was here the first time, or a couple of times in between, then and now? So let's look at it, Trev. This portal is massive for West Virginia. Some of the numbers here. They're 30th in the country in the portal. They return 52% production, and they're the 57th rated S&P Plus class. And then when you talk about the portal again, 52 come in, 51 leave. So you're talking massive roster overturn. Is it too much? Is it to me? It's hey, you got to do what you got to do in year one. Let's see it. Maybe year two, you need to slow your roll a little bit.
I'd be curious to find out how much of that was, hey, it's time for you to go.
Yeah.
When Rich Rod came in, I'm wondering how much of those transfers were like, no problem, we're going to bring in replacements.
Yeah.
And go find somewhere else to play.
I imagine a lot of it is that. And I'm not trying to allude that, West Virginia and Colorado are the same, but it was pretty much the same thing once Dion got there. They kicked everybody out. They
kept who they wanted to keep, and they got rid of but for lack of a better term, trim the fat.
Yeah, and Dion was a lot more vocal about it, obviously. Yeah. He's quietly doing this. No headlines, nothing. This man's in there working. He knows what he wants to do. Mm-hmm. He knows what he can do already at this school, what he wants to bring it back to. So you bring in 52 guys, you lose 51, but a lot of the guys that you're bringing in Power 5 or Power 4 talent, guys from Tennessee, Texas, Oklahoma. You got guys from across the Group of 5 too. You got LSU, gents from LSU coming in. People from all over this country is like, hey, I want to come play for Rich Rod.
This is a countrywide recruiting class.
It's from every corner. And
Washington, to Oklahoma, Texas.
Really, and looking at some of these guys, there's so many. It's too many to freaking talk about, to be honest with you. But just looking at some of the guys, the key in, I had Siders on the edge, Coach Junior out at cornerback. Jamon Robinson, and then key out, CJ Donaldson, that sucks to leave, Garnes, Trotter, and then Samaraco as another guy that I thought, that's tough to lose. But when you look at it, I feel like I've said this a couple times, sometimes not, but this one feels like what you bring in outweighs what you lost to a point. Depth always hurts, but when you bring in 52, somebody's going to plug those holes that you lost. And it really just depends on how they mesh. So that's why this team is so hard to talk about, because it's so brand new. We did this with Indiana last year, Colorado the year before. Mm-hmm. So much changeover, Trevor.
Yeah, and I'm a broken record again. I feel it. It's just
it happens, whatever. Man. It's season preview.
It's just a broken record, but I don't believe in this kind of way of doing things, of basically cutting the entire team just to bring in a whole different team. I'm not a big fan of it. However, knowing so between Indiana and Colorado, I feel like those two coaches' personalities are very stark difference.
Yeah.
And you can see the difference in production by this difference in coaching styles.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that West Virginia is going to be more lean towards the Indiana side of production with this, because it's going to be down to business. not about the flash, all about freaking put your nose to the grindstone and put in the work to get the team to be all on the same page. And I feel like with Rich Rod being, from West Virginia, has super big pride about West Virginia as a whole. And I feel like he's just taking it on as a challenge to basically bring this whole brand new group together to create a winning atmosphere again at West Virginia. Because I'll tell you what, when they're winning, there is no crazier place to watch a football game, in my opinion, than West Virginia.
Dude, Morgantown gets nuts.
Morgantown goes crazy.
I love the atmosphere. And, we keep going back Indiana, Colorado, because those are just, two immediate, things that stick out. But you're right. I agree. I lean towards the Indiana side. And he also brings over 6 guys, maybe more. I might have lost track in this massive portal class. But I'm tracking 6 coming over from Jack State. And what he did there was incredible.
Yep.
Very, very impressive. And, Jordan McCants is one of them that's, obviously going to be a guy that they need to step up immediately this year. And since we're talking about that, let's go ahead and just talk some offense because, again, it's so new. It just depends on how these guys mesh. And I think people are going to, when they see them actually finally roll out during the season, you're going to take some teams by surprise. Mm-hmm. And we may not know what this team really is till week 6, week 7, but we'll look at the schedule later. Offense, Rich Rod's he's running the show. He's the offensive guy. He's going to do it the way he's always been doing it. And it's never been a problem. Offense has always been his, strong suit, even at his time at Michigan. I mean, I remember games watching like Michigan versus Illinois. I think we beat them 67-64 or something.
We never worried about the offense. It wasn't the offense that was the problem.
If he's got a guy at quarterback, yes. If he's got his guy at QB, that team is going to be nasty. Doesn't matter who's even your receivers. They'll find a way. It's the defense. That was the problem at Michigan, but obviously things have changed. He's adapted and grown. So we talk about quarterback. Who is going to be the guy? And that's the question. Is it Nico? Is it Jalen Henderson? I don't know. I'm leaning towards Nico being the guy from what I've read.
Everything I've read, I agree that too.
But Henderson's a guy. He's been around the block. He transferred in from Texas A&M. Didn't really get a chance there. Obviously, things have, he new coach at Texas A&M. So that kind of throws things off for a loop. So can he step in and maybe, compete? They're not going to make a decision until fall. I mean, why let anybody know? Keep them guessing.
Why even worry about it? I mean, they still have 3 freshmen that I'm sure Rich Rod needs to take a look at and see what he's got for the younger kids too.
Absolutely.
I mean, 3 freshmen. He's got Henderson, obviously, and then Max Brown is there as well. They've got a decent quarterback room right now. I mean, and running back room is pretty freaking nice right now too.
Yeah, I like what they got there. Even though you lost, we mentioned C.J. Donaldson moving on to Ohio State. Mm-hmm. I think you got Jameem White. He's coming back. Jalen Knighton's coming over from SMU. I think that's a really nice pickup for them. I mean, they did things where I'm reading the class, I'm reading the players, and I'm like, okay, they're fitting together. It looks good on paper, Trevor.
Yeah.
So it's
absolutely
kind of hard to wrap my brain around. So running back looks good. Wide receiver, you brought in Cam Vaughn coming over, also from Jack State.
And as of right now, they have him slated as the starting outside wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, he was a threat there, and he should be a threat here. He's 6'2", 190.
Redshirt sophomore, that is phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
You get that continuity that we always talk about, the familiarity.
Absolutely.
And then you look at guys on the offensive line class that they even brought in, guys coming in from Arkansas, Tykeus Crawford, 6'5", 324. It's a big son of a gun on the interior. And then we mentioned we'll talk some defense here in a minute. It's just the offensive line is a complete overhaul. Okay.
Yep.
Some good pieces that are already there, but then you brought in guys like we just mentioned. Carson Lee's another one. There's guys there that if they mesh, if they fit well, it can cause this offense to really elevate. depending on how good Nico is at quarterback. And because I think we're both assuming that's who it is. We'll see what happens. So often, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It maybe take a little time to gel, get that, get it all worked out. So maybe give it a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Not trying to put too lofty expectations in week one or season one, but on paper, it looks pretty solid, man.
I would agree.
What do you see? Anything else on offense that you see stands out, or we go talk some defense?
Honestly, I think we pretty much covered it. I mean, obviously they've got a pretty decent crew, veteran crew at the tight end spot between Grayson Barnes, who's a senior, Jacob Barrick, redshirt junior, Gregory Genros, a redshirt senior. All of which, I mean, two out of the three are 6'5" and 6'6" at 230, 220, 235, and 225. Very veteran crew of tight ends, which is also a cause for a little bit of concern because they could literally all go away next season.
Yeah.
So there's really not any sort of future outlook at the tight end position at this point in time. There is just the right now for the tight end position.
Hey, you run it one season and see what you got, and I guess
Yeah,
they'll
that's
just go
right.
right back at it next year in the portal. So yeah, we'll let's talk some defense then, because again, Rich Rod, he knows his offense. Defensively, it feels like again another total guess just because there's so much overturn. But I think it's going to cause some problems early on, like in the schedule, and we'll get to that here soon. You brought in a beast in Jamari Robinson. I mean, the guy was phenomenal last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's somebody that is instantly going to create pressure for you up front. You've got some guys that do return, the few returning, people from last year's squad. We mentioned they've got 52% returning production. Some of that is organic to West Virginia, but most of it is from the portal. And that does count towards, if they produced at their last school, it does go into effect for, the numbers and the advanced stat purposes. So you're looking at that. Defensive backs got some nice additions. We mentioned Coates. Derek Carter's coming in. Scruggs is another guy coming up from South Alabama that I think can at least be in the rotation. So you're looking decent there. It's just, can it be proven? And then linebackers took a hit. You lost Lathan and then Trotter. So that's the biggest hits really on the defensive side, was that linebacker core. And what do you replace there? Looking in the portal, a couple of linebackers, Chase Wilson, one coming over from Colorado State. Bogle, I think we mentioned him earlier, and then John Lewis coming over from UNLV. A couple guys, Trev, but I don't know. It's just, we just got to see it.
Nothing that truly stands out, honestly, other than Jamari Robinson. But it doesn't mean that there aren't some pieces in here that are going to show out. Maybe they just didn't get their full potential at one of their old schools. I don't know. It's all speculative at this point, guys.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm doing, is I'm speculating that this is going to be a good, fun team to watch.
Yeah. And really, you look at guys that produced, and even from the lower levels, lower conferences, like we mentioned, Braden Siders coming over from Wyoming. That's a guy that, on the edge that I think can help out. We mentioned Coates. He's another one coming over from Nevada. So Rich Rod's obviously seen these guys. He's seen them from being in the group of five side. He's played against them or scouted them or whatever else. You got Justin Harrington, another safety, 6'3", coming over from Washington. You've got bodies on this defense that can probably fit in and do what you need them to do for year one. It's, where does it fall? And Trev, let's just go ahead and look at this schedule, because right now their over-under is set at 5.5. And when I look at the schedule for West Virginia, coming off, you got Robert Morris initially, so chalk that up as a win. Gives you at least a week to figure stuff out before you go and talk about a team that we've already mentioned in the group of five previews as somebody that can contend for the playoffs when it comes down to the group of five race, and that's at Ohio. So it's a road game, week 2, with a whole brand new team, that one could be dicey. Let's not kid ourselves, West Virginia fans. If I'm you, I'm a little bit worried about that game simply because all these new pieces are still molding and coming together. Okay. Then you move on to Pitt in Morgantown. Huge game. Kansas, who we've covered recently as a team that is looking to be on the up and up. Utah, same thing. BYU, we haven't gotten to them yet, but we don't know what's going to happen with the quarterback situation. Trev, what do you see on this schedule that really sticks out to you? Do you think they can hit that over, bro?
Oh man,
I know.
Big 12 is a mess. It's so difficult this season, and I'd like to say yes because I want to believe that West Virginia will be better this year because I think a good, solid West Virginia team is a great thing for the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they're going to destroy Colorado. I think they're going to destroy, well, maybe not destroy, but I think they're going to take care of a few of these games. But I don't know if I don't think they're going to get past 7 wins. But I mean, I would love to be happily wrong. I really would. I'd love to be wrong.
Yeah.
But I just don't think I am.
It's so hard to determine. I don't think most people, like we talked about Indiana, Trev, would have guessed them going to the playoffs in year one.
No.
In it all, but they had a quarterback that I trust more than what West Virginia currently has on their roster.
Yep.
And good, strong veteran quarterback is something that to me is a must to push them to that next echelon. Say you beat the first 2 games. You go out. Pitt's going to be tough. Holstein's a good quarterback.
He really is.
UCF, I think that'll be a win. TCU is going to be a tough one. Houston, toss up. I mean, this is I might say right at that 5-6. I know I'm riding the goddamn line. I feel like a flip flopper, but Texas Tech looks to be very good this season. Arizona State again. You got to make your money here at the very beginning, and then in that middle section of October into the first weekend of November, you've got to make those wins if you want to go to a bowl games this year.
I absolutely agree.
I could probably see a 6-win season.
Yeah, I got them at 7. I got them at 7 because I think they're going to squeak one out against somebody. I just don't know which one.
I was just about to say, I think this is going to be a very frustrating year for West Virginia. You're probably going to win some games that you should not on paper, and you're probably going to lose some games that you should not on paper. Let us know again what you think. Do you feel more confident in the quarterback situation in this year? Because a lot of it's so much unknown, and if they gel, and if it takes them a little bit to gel through those first 3 or 4 weeks, then the rest of the schedule, there's some parts in there that get kind of tough. Again, Utah, BYU, Texas Tech, Arizona State, and hell, Colorado might. We don't know if Caden Salter's back to his old self. That's gonna be a tough game. If they play Julian Lewis, I have no idea. So let us know, West Virginia fans, what you think. And I am excited about this team. I'm excited about the return of Rich Rod and what that can do for West Virginia, and honestly, just the depth of the Big 12. It's such a fun conference, and it's so the parity is so there. So many people I see it all the time, and it pisses me off. They say the Big 12 is closer to like a group of 5 conference.
No, that's the ACC this year. I promise.
You got to get the shot in, baby. It's just I disagree. There's so many good teams.
There's a lot of good teams, and the problem with the Big 12, and it's a good problem to have, is that they're all fighting for the same recruits. Generally speaking, like they all have this same echelon of recruits that they go after. So the transfer portal is a big thing, and the parity with this conference is absolutely insane.
It really is, and that's why it's so hard to predict. And when you look at the over-unders, the top teams in the group of, or excuse me, I was thinking about that. Don't take that for what I'm saying here. From the Big 12, Kansas State, Arizona State, that the top guys, that projections are at 8.5 wins.
Yep.
The bottom's at 5.5. So I mean, that's a
Basically,
very narrow
everyone is
gap.
saying we don't know how the Big 12 is going to shake out.
Yeah, Vegas is like, we don't fucking know either, to be honest. So you guys tell us. We want to hear it from you.
That's right.
Put it in the comments, share it with your buddies, and let us know what you guys think. We're kind of right on that line of the 5.5, but it's hard to buy in until you actually see it.
That's
so
right.
Forgive
I
us,
agree with that.
For not going full in yet, but we want to. I like Rich Rod. So you guys, again, let us know. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Trev, we ready to keep rolling on with the next Big 12 team. So we'll see you guys around. And
Go Mountaineers.
yeah, let's go.